Time to let the Willis watchdogs out. The markets have been a mess this week as the Federal Reserve warned the so-called economic recovery, well, it ain't a recovery. It's slowing down. So some economists are saying time to spend more and roll out another stimulus package. What does our panel think? Sandra Smith of Fox Business, Colleen DeBays is the small business editor of the Wall Street Journal, and Mark Levine is a radio show talk host. Mark, let's start with you. What do you make of the second stimulus? Or actually, it's like third or fourth or 15th.
I think we need it. Look, the Federal Reserve has its pedal to the metal. You can't go below zero. There's only two ways to stimulate economy. One's monetary policy, one's fiscal policy. We've done all we can on monetary policy. The way to get us out is the same way they did it in the Great Depression, fiscal stimulus.
So you want to go out and dig some holes and build some bridges?
Whatever it takes. Look, the reason why businesses with all this loads of cash aren't hiring people is because there's not a demand for their products. The reason why there's no demand for their products is because there's high unemployment. Get people having jobs, multiply it, and the economy moves.
Sandra, I'm going to call on you because I know you'll be the opposite side of this coin.
Yeah, really. Well, no, I mean, you're going to hear me say stop spending. I mean, that's what America really wants the government to do. Stop all the spending.
They're wrong.
And if anything, I agree with Robert Rubin. He's a former Treasury Secretary under President Clinton. He's saying, no, this is going to, if you put another stimulus out there, you're going to add to more uncertainty and you're going to undermine confidence in this country. Every time we see more stimulus injected into this economy, we think, gosh, how bad is it? How about targeted tax cuts?
All right, Colleen, break the impasse here.
Okay, yeah, I'll take a kind of position that's in between both of you, because I think we really have to see how this first stimulus has worked. I know there's a lot of critics right now of it, but I think we're still just seeing the results of it. We know that there was a boost in SBA loans as a result, you know, from the small business perspective. We just did a piece this week about how micro-lending has now increased because some of the stimulus money went to economic development agencies. You know, we're still waiting to see if businesses are getting stimulus contracts. Some of that money hasn't been doled out yet, so I think we need to kind of wait and see.
In terms of the spending, that's true.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next story. The Republican nominee for the governor of Alabama has announced he will not take a paycheck until his state reaches the normal unemployment rate of about 5%. He would join such big names as Michael Bloomberg and Arnold Schwarzenegger, as well as California candidate Meg Whitman. Mark, do you like that idea?
Well, the problem with that, and I'm sure this is a good guy, but when you don't take a salary and you're not very rich like these people are, who's going to fund your bills? Well, maybe some interest who wants something from you. That's the problem. I want to take money out of politics altogether, have public financing campaigns. That's the only way to do it.
Sandra, what do you say?
You know, I think the only problem is that a lot of voters, they look at Bloomberg and Schwarzenegger and Whitman. These are all very, very wealthy people, and to give up their salary for a few years, it's just, you think, really drop in the bucket. I mean, as I understand it, this guy's a little bit different. Mr. Bentley's a little bit different. He and his wife are not as well off, but still.
Well, you know, Colleen, the reality is, though, voters really responded to this.
Yeah.
His numbers went up in the polls.
Yeah.
Right?
I think this is such a great way to get elected because people are outraged in Alabama and elsewhere over what we've heard about executive compensation. You know, when the banks, all these bankers were getting bonuses after their firms had just been bailed out by the government. You know, there's a lot of outrage. So I think someone saying, hey, I'm not going to take a salary, I think that really resonates with people.
So big debate there. All right, let's go on to the next story. Senator Frank Lautenberg is going gaga. Lady Gaga, that is. The nation's oldest senator will hold a fundraiser at her Monster Ball tour next month. Sandra, I'm confused.
Hey.
I don't get it. Like, how do these two things fit together?
Hey, listen, Lady Gaga has a lot of eyes on her right now. My only question is Senator going to join her in her costumes, her apparel? Is he going to
I sure hope not.
appeal to the monsters?
I love it. All right, Mark.
Well, I hope he doesn't join her in any of his costumes. She's ridiculous enough. I'm sorry. I think Lady Gaga is overrated. I think she's more... I think she's more show than substance. I want to hear someone who's got a great voice, and all everyone looks at is her costumes.
All sizzle, no steak.
I think she has a great voice. Well, I had really pegged the senator as a Doris Day fan rather than as a Lady Gaga fan. But, you know, I think this is just political savvy. He's trying to raise money. He's picking a performer who's very popular right now. People will buy tickets to go to this concert. So it's a perfect way to raise money. It's just smart.
It just seems so out of context to me. I can't get past it. Anyway, all right. A Baltimore area man managed to skip out on numerous restaurant tabs by faking a seizure and taking a ride to the hospital. The last time he did it, he got a jail ride, Mark.
Well, he's been in jail many times, and he's always getting under 90 days. And apparently he eats very nicely, and then he gets on the floor, has his seizure, and goes to jail. Look, this guy understands that he gets free food in jail for the rest of his life. And so every time he gets out, he gets one fancy meal and goes back to jail.
Colleen?
Yeah, well, I don't think this man is doing his part to help the economy, because a lot of these restaurants are businesses that rely on paying customers. I also
Spoken like a true small business editor. Yes.
I'm not defending the guy, please. I'm definitely not.
And I think he might have a drinking problem too, because I think he's getting a lot of free drinks as a result of this.
And the problem with that is,
oh boy.
Sandra, help me out here.
Just seems like a little bit more trouble than it's worth. I mean, really, I mean, maybe he's under the influence, I don't know, but I think most of the folks that are guilty of this stopped doing it when they're about 15 years old, so.
I can't imagine going through all this trouble for free food.
It is a lot of work. And he goes to the
ways.
hospital, and then they take him to the jail cell, and then he's got to go through all the court hearings. I think he enjoys it. I think he likes the attention, much like, oh, I don't know, Lady Gaga.
Oh, there's a theme in the story. Way to find that. That's
She's
awesome.
got the chops. I'm not sure who you've been listening to, but.
All right, guys, thanks for your help today. Look, if you're fired up about this or any